Hi everyone, this is the Schizomanic here, also known as the Insane Game Freak, also known as Terrell, also known as that black guy who does anime videos and doesn't know when to shut his fucking mouth. It's me, back again with the white Vans on. Actually, no, I'm wearing black colored shoes and they're not Vans anyway. Anywho, Blue Exorcist, Kyoto arc, finally finished today, and I thought it was only appropriate to make my final episode review a day late, although I thought I was going to put it on Sunday just for the irony of talking about anime about Satan's son and putting it up on a Sunday, just for the fun of it. But there's a video I need to upload after this that I don't want to upload until this one's out, and I've already referenced that video before, but on to the episode. The episode's a nice way to end it. It's like I said last week, this was the perfect way to end it, and it's a nice 12 episode thing. Like, you could watch this arc and be perfectly fine. It ends the same way it does in the manga, with one small exception. And I'll talk, and now I'll probably be the bulk of this video actually, because even though this would be this chapter is canon, this is unofficially, officially the last chapter of the Kyoto arc in the manga. What I mean is in terms of us being in Kyoto, this will be the last arc. Thanks, car. This is why you don't record videos outside. But if we're talking in terms of which episodes are actually part of new arcs, there's one more. There would be one more. Technically, there would have been one more episode after this, but they decided not to animate it. But they did choose to pull a scene in the most important sequence out of that chapter and animate that, which would be the very end of this episode, which is the Yukio and Rin conversation. In the manga, that conversation happens, but under a completely different circumstance that would otherwise, that if you looked at the chapter would look like filler if it wasn't for the Yukio and Rin stuff. So what I'm trying to say is that the anime pretty much took the best part of that next chapter and animated that and had that conversation be a part of this season, because technically it would have been anyway, which then leads the door open for Blue Exorcist at least to get a third season, because there's like two or three more arcs in the manga that are fully completed that they could animate. I'm not going to go into them, and I would like to see the next one, because the next one is actually really good. It's the first more traditional like arc. I don't know how else to put that. And I think it's pretty cool. So what I'm going to do is that this has been a great adaptation. Points to Aniplex and everyone else who was involved. Great adaptation, consistently good animation, good music, followed the canon pretty closely, almost 100%. It was pretty close. There's like a few minor changes, but nothing. But the general feel and the point of this arc got across beautifully. It's Blue Exorcist to its core. But I want to go ahead and talk about the chapter. That the manga, that they didn't animate, but they just took the most important sequence from. So, I think the sequence starts with, because I mentioned this before. The chapter entails is that they left Kyoto, and they have like the one free day off. The thing that Shima says. Now, the day off that they're talking about isn't isn't actually the hanging out in Kyoto episode. That's not their day off. The day off is actually this next chapter. The chapter in question is them at the beach. So the only thing I'm a little sad about, we missed some cute moments with Ren and Shamey, and we kind of needed it considering the bull that we get with the friend zoning, which considering where we're at in the manga and what the current state of affairs of the manga are right now, that scene hurts especially hard. All my manga fans know what I'm referring to. All my Blue Exorcist manga fans know what I'm referring to. But anyways, it's actually the chapter, I think, is technically somewhat reanimated in the first season. In the first season, there was that episode with Kaneki, Shima, and Ren, which I believe was filler. But you could also look at it as a mild reference to this chapter that takes place on the beach and has a similar setup for it. Except instead of Kaneki, Shima, and Ren, it's Ren, Yukio, and Shamey. And the general idea is that there's like this octopus demon fucking up shit. And Ren, being who he is and the fact that he's more comfortable with himself as Satan's sons now, is more willing and more open about using his powers to save people, but he's still being the reckless Shonen Jump hero that he's always been. Yukio having a problem with that. That's why in this episode when he says you're getting overconfident because you beat the Impure King, it's not a reference. In the manga he says that right after he saves some children from this octopus demon, and the arguments get pretty bad. Like, they pretty much condense what was going on, because the basis of that chapter is that Yukio and Ren are arguing the whole time while dealing with this octopus demon with Shamie, and Shamie's like, cut that shit out, you're being immature, have a real conversation. Because in the manga they dick around for almost that entire chapter while doing other stuff. Unfortunately, I actually like the sequence of events, the way they play out in the manga, because you get these cool sequences where like Yukio is shooting bullets and Ren's like fucking throwing out flame sword slashes like a boss. Like, it actually looks like a cool animation like fight sequence that we don't get. But the most important part of it, as I've said before, is the conversation of, look, you don't have to accept me, you don't have to agree with me, because Ren's like, we could both be wrong, but I also think we're both right in some way, and that's fine. Like, he has no problem with Yukio not agreeing or not like giving him permission. But we also get to see more of Yukio's insecurities about how he's weaker than his brother, how he feels weaker than his brother and he feels insecure. And as we also see, is that he doesn't mention, which is canon in the manga too, that whole sequence is canon in the context of what they're talking about, when he's like, you can come to me for anything, and Yukio has the flashback to his eye turning blue, and he doesn't tell Ren. I don't know if anyone cares about being spoiled in this, but I'll go ahead and let you know. So if you don't want to hear it, skip the next maybe 10 seconds. Spoiler, he never actually, even currently in the manga, he is yet to tell Ren about his eye. And things have gotten somewhat worse about that whole situation. Not going to go into detail, just letting you know. But overall, I think this was a good season. I think it was a good adaptation. This is good shit. I would definitely recommend getting this. And, be prepared for Aniplex to overcharge you for a 13-episode box set. They just got the Sekirei license back. I mean, this is gonna suck. This is gonna suck. Although, if Blue Exorcist is anything to go by, we might get a reanimation of Sekirei, which would be fucking great. Whether that's going to happen, I don't fucking know. Especially because the manga's done. They could go ahead and do the full fucking series. I doubt it, but it'd be cool if they did. Anywho, that's about it for me. As I said, good episode. It really brings everything to a close, and I love the Satan jokes. The whole, oh well, it's Satan's son, so we got to do what he says, or else we're gonna die. I like all the Satan jokes they make. It's fun and it's cute and shows that they're now playful nature with it. The fact that you can make jokes about him being the son of Satan tells me you were comfortable with him to the point where him being Satan's son doesn't matter. That's a full circle moment, and that's what's so important about those jokes and them making them and being so free and dickish around and playful around him. It's a great moment. And we kind of get somewhat of an understanding so Ren's character development really amounts to him accepting who he is. But unlike other shonen protagonists that have dark sides to them, they don't let the dark side define who they are. That was the one thing I couldn't stand about it. And nothing against Tokyo Ghoul, because I haven't read it, but Tokyo Ghoul looks like it went the same route, where he starts off as this nice boy, he goes through a whole bunch of shit, and becomes this disturbed person. And yeah, I get it. I don't know, it's just such a tired trope to me. I'm so tired. I don't think people change that drastically that easily. Then again, I mean, he did go through trauma, so that's probably not the best comparison. But you get what I'm saying. I appreciate that Ren is still Ren, while accepting that he's also Satan's son. But that's all for this episode review. Hope you guys enjoyed it. Tell me your thoughts about the whole arc and whether you liked it or you disliked it. Would you be looking forward to another season? Because there's other arcs that they could easily adapt that are finished. So would you want to see that? Let me know in the comment section below. This has been Schizomanic. Life's a game. Play to win. And I will catch you guys later. Ooh. That's how you tire yourself out. You laugh maniacally too goddamn much. Stop that shit.